Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Yeah, welcome to this interactive session. It's a time to do a little bit of thinking and also a little bit of discussion. So I hope you can all hear me okay. Thumbs up, good. It's a real shame, and sadly, I can't be with you today in person due to an unfortunate set of events and a very close encounter with COVID. Yeah, I am having to stay put here in Denmark, and it's a bit of a shame. So we've had to adapt the program a little bit, and we'll work it online and in person. And I want a big thank you to Hilke and Martin for stepping in and helping out and facilitating the groups online, and also to Dana and Kobe who helped prepare this session. I'll start sharing my screen so you can actually see what we're going to be doing, and I'll then run through. So hopefully you can all see that. Yeah, okay, I can see that now. Let me just organize my screen. Okay, yeah, so this is the workshop about beekeeping and the technology of the future, and it's linking very much also to Dana and Wim's presentation earlier. And these are the yeah, it's all, led by myself here at Aarhus University with the help of Martin and Hilke, who's going to be facilitating the groups internally with you there in person. So what's the purpose of the workshop? Well, digital technologies have really helped in terms of early detection of diseases. I have the potential to do that, and also minimize the manual interventions or interactions that beekeepers have with hives. And it also helps harmonize the data. So there are lots of different ways that digital technology is currently being used already. But how else might it help us? And this is what we want to start discussing today a little bit, and getting you to think about in your groups. And these results will feed into an article that we as the Be Good Consortium are preparing, and also help with discussions that we're going to be having on later on this week about the technologies that we're developing. How might they help beekeepers in the future maintain healthy and sustainable beekeeping? So it's really important, this workshop. It's going to be a very short and rapid workshop, but your insights will really help us think about what the project's trying to deliver, and making sure it does deliver what beekeepers need, and also the beekeeping community and the beekeeping sector. So how are we going to do this, and what's the goal? So we're going to be talking about, as I said, digital hive monitoring technology, or digital technology to help sustainable beekeeping and maintain the colonies healthy. So we want to come with a list of outcomes, first of all. And what we want you to do, first of all, is to think about the key challenges that beekeepers face today, and those in relation to the three key theme areas that Dana and Wim pointed out in the survey. That's honeybee colony health, the environment that they're in, and also the production of honey, the production efficiency. And then the second session will be about looking at potential solutions and trying to list those, and again related to the three key topics there. So there are going to be two rounds. The first round is 20 minutes long, and it's going to be really to discuss the key challenges that beekeepers face in Europe. And we'll be going to splitting you into three groups. So there'll be group one, and they'll be facilitated by Martin. These are all people that are in person at the event. And the two theme topics that you'll be looking at or discussing is honeybee colony health and environmental quality. And then there'll be a second group of in-person attendees, all of you there. And that's going to be looking at production efficiency and honeybee colony health. And that'll be facilitated by Hilke. And I'll be taking the online group, facilitating that, and we'll be looking at environmental quality and production efficiency. So the first round that we're going to be doing is looking at the challenges. So we want to focus on what are the key challenges, what are the key issues, and out of that, what we'd like you to do is list something to 2 to 3 key challenges per topic and have a discussion on that. And I'll explain how you'll do that in a little bit when I get to the last slide. The second round is talking about how digital technologies may provide solutions to those challenges. And we want you to think about the technologies available today, but also what might not be available, but what are the key challenges and how could technology help you, or where is it missing? What could be useful? So it'd be really useful if we had some form of thing to help us look at bees in this way, or some sort of technology to do that. So we want you to be a little bit creative and see how it goes. And hopefully thinking about the challenges will spark some ideas about that today. And again, we'll split into three. You'll maintain in your three groups. You'll stay in your three groups the whole time. So you'll have 20 minutes on the challenges and then 20 minutes on the solutions. And when we start to break the groups up and divide everybody, what we'll do is, it's going to be for those people attending in person, it's going to be good old-fashioned post-it notes and flip chart papers. So Martin and Hilke will divide you into two groups, and then you'll go into group 1 and group 2, and you'll be with your facilitator to start noting down on post-it notes and on flip charts your key challenges and some of the potential solutions that you come up with. And the group online will be using Mentimeter. So when I'm in the chat, I'll share the link and you can have a look, and I'll also share the presentation that you can see. So there are 4 slides there which we can go through, and we can start it's just to help discussions a little bit. At about 10 to 3, we'll all come back together, and I'd like each group to nominate a spokesperson just to recap on what the key challenges were and what the solutions that you came up with, or potential solutions you came up with, and also discuss any observations or what were the key discussions about. So key discussions about. So that'll be at 10 to 3. So it's a very rapid and fast-paced workshop, but I hope it'll be interesting and provide some useful talking points and discussions. And yeah, and what we'll do is we'll just have a bit of reflection at the end, and then we'll be providing a summary report after this meeting, and then we will keep that this discussion. Hopefully we can keep it on, and we'll be writing about it a little bit later. Okay, so our topics for the challenges and also for the solutions were environment. And what we discussed was there were 3 key areas related to the environment: climate change, pesticides, and varroa. And varroa seems to come up quite a bit, although it's not directly related to the environment has an impact. So I'll just come back to some of the solutions. Those are the 3 key challenges. In relation to pesticides, we were discussing possible solutions. This thing of LFDs, people were just saying that it's a really good way to look at that. But what really is how technology can help detection of pesticides within either the environment or within honey to help. And what was the conclusion? It helps the political decision to say that pesticides are there, and put pressure on, and saying that we need to reduce pesticides in the environment, and having detection systems helps do that. In terms of climate change, we had some discussion about how it really would affect beekeepers, but mainly it's to do with extremes, going from one extreme to another. And we discussed about temperature and maintenance of hive temperature. And although bees do a very good job on that, surely there may be ways that hives can be designed now to help bees be very efficient in maintaining their temperature. So, a smart design of smart hives. So the bees do the work, but the design helps them. And then coming in towards climate, varroa, that was all related to, detecting varroa loads, and that's a really important part. Varroa also came up into the production as well. But we did discuss one other sort of key area, which is pricing and the importation. That's a real big challenge in relation to production. And this was also related to fake honey. And trying to create a level playing field. So we had some really good discussions about how technology could be used to validate or improve the traceability of honey and show that where it's coming from, helping consumers make those decisions about the type of honey they want to buy, about the quality of the honey, or not the quality, but where it comes from, maybe its production system. So to highlight that. So there was quite a lot of discussions there around those. So in a short space of time, we covered quite a bit, but it would be nice, I agree, to continue those discussions. Yeah. So thanks a lot to everybody that participated in the group online. So cheers for your input.
Well, at least you discussed other things than that we did in our group, and I think also your group. So can I give the floor to you?
Trying to wrap up a very intensive session. So we were looking at colony health and environmental quality as main, let's say, stressor or categories. We identified for colony health need to, let's say, improve diagnostic tools, to improve varroa management, and to improve beekeeping management as well. So with respect to possible solution, varroa management, again, was the hottest topic, let's say, and kind of diagnostic tool to assess precisely the infestation level, or eventually to inform about broodless status of the colony would be beneficial to improve that. With respect to the diagnostic, I think the sounds and gases were quite interesting as a perspective to improve, let's say, the capacity to interpret sound measurement, gas measurement, and so on. And also to have early detectors of something like asymptomatic stressors, some early detector that can be, again, electronic noses or whatever else. And with respect to hive management, yes, more education for beekeepers, continuous education, and also an integration in the education system between beekeepers and farmers. This is what we came down to. With respect to environmental quality topic, again, we put let's say the floral resources availability as the main topic to discuss. Second came the importance of the society with respect to the environment. So how the, let's say, non-beekeepers or non-farmers can also be beneficial with respect to the environmental quality. And we had kind of climate change and agriculture related problem together. So with respect of the floral resources, I have to read because we hadn't enough time. So potentially having an alarm when low pollen or nectar availability is ongoing, so a kind of a remote alarm. And with respect of the role of the society, increase the presence on video educational portals and so on, in order to make more information decision, not only to make some pressure on the policymaker, but also with respect to the individuals to make them more informative about that. And agriculture and climate change, we thought about the possibility to create a system to exchange information between farmer and beekeeper in order to mitigate the impact of farming and also to have early alerts on the effect of climate change. Something, I mean, in the season, of course, because climate change is more a trend rather than if I got it correctly, that was more or less the wrap up.
Thanks a lot. We will take pictures of these Post-its too. Can I invite the spokeswoman of our group to do the last wrap up?
Thank you. Our subject was the production efficiency and the health. Unfortunately, we didn't had the chance to talk about the health because we had a very live, active discussion about the production in the beginning. The discuss and the management actions to improve production. The subjects that came up were, for example, oh, thanks, Martin. One of the subjects, for example, was are there too many beekeepers with too less floral resources? That was a subject we talked about, but also is biodiversity getting lower and also the quality of the available resources. That pollen is the main limiting factor that has influence on diversity production and therefore also honey flow. And pollinator depending crops that we produce nowadays more crops and therefore there are also more bees needed. And one of the last subjects in the discussion about the production was how can I get my colony to a decent size early in the year, and where does the hive stand? So you have a lot of bees when there's flowering, so you have them on the right time. And then we talked about how digital technology can prevent this in the future. Well, one of the topics that came up was the European equality, because now in every county there are different rules about insecticides and registration. So it would help if it was just one rule in the whole EU. Also a map with floral availability. The floor mapping, for example, what Dirk showed in his presentation this morning would be of great help. The same with a map for the biodiversity or pollen diversity map, which also mentioned the quality of the pollen and then a link to hive registration. But the problem will be with that can also be that people move with their hives to this same place on the same time of the year. And then you have, of course, a lot of hives at the same place at the same time. And also if this influences the spread of disease. We also found out in the discussion that it's not the same in every country. For example, that in Switzerland, you're not completely free to move your hives to every area. So it's also depending on each country. That's what we mainly discussed.